Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds podcast. I'm your co-host, Boom, and I got the cat hands, your heavyweight title fight back. And to my left over here is the main man, Jesus De Niro, the man that makes the fat stacks. Take it away from the dynamic duo that won't die. Deadly ideas, but spicier content than your girl's OnlyFans.
What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and with that, let's get right into it. So we actually postponed making this video. We were actually going to make it last week, but there were some rumors going around that the co-main event wasn't going to move forward. UFC 309 is what we're talking about. So let's get right into it. First, going to talk about Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira. Now, I had seen quite a few tweets, basically people talking about it looked like the co-main event was in danger. Nobody knew if it was on Charles Oliveira's side or if it was on Michael Chandler's side. Now, I actually saw Michael Chandler put a couple of emojis out, the eyes emojis, the couple of speculative tweets that kind of made it look like maybe it was Michael Chandler that was going to not make it to UFC 309. That being said, listen, it's fight week. We got to talk about it. We're going to move forward as if the fight is, in fact, going to happen. So, that being said, listen, it's been 2 years since Michael Chandler's been in the ring. As everybody knows, he was waiting on that Conor McGregor fight, which never came to fruition. I think because of that, that's going to weigh heavily on Michael Chandler. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you guys have all been making fun of Michael Chandler because, you know, dude's ripped to shreds and kind of looking like maybe he's on a little something. Everyone's throwing out them memes, you know, making fun of the fact that, you know, the UFC no longer does their testing through VADA. They got their in-house testing. So, you know, this is the Michael Chandler version of post-VADA. With that being said, apart from that 2-year layoff that Michael Chandler had waiting for Conor McGregor, if it weren't for those types of things, I think Michael Chandler stood a great chance. I still honestly think he stands a great chance. That being said, listen, I'm going to pick Charles Oliveira on this one. The reason I'm picking Charles Oliveira is I feel like Charles Oliveira has more tools in the tool bag to be able to take down a Michael Chandler. As everybody knows, previously, Charles Oliveira did great striking up against Michael Chandler. So he can definitely go that way, which that is Michael Chandler's forte. That being said, who has the most submission wins in UFC history currently? Charles Oliveira. So he has the ground game as well, potentially, to be able to win that way. That plus again the long layoff, a combination of different tools in Charles Oliveira's bag is the reason why I think Charles Oliveira is ultimately gonna take the dub. Now, that's not to discount Michael Chandler. You know, maybe there's a good amount of fire under Michael Chandler, given that he's had to wait for 2 years, basically put his career on hold, waiting for Conor McGregor. Maybe there's a good amount of wants, of hungriness, of fire, of just wanting to show everyone, look, I messed up waiting 2 years, but here I am again. Maybe there's enough of that to get Michael Chandler over the finish line. I just think, you know, Charles Oliveira wants to get back at the top of the pyramid, wants to get back up to title contention area, and I think because of those things, I think it's going to be Charles Oliveira that's going to come out the victor. That being said, let's keep it a buck here. If that is in fact the case, Conor McGregor is going to go on a tweet storm making fun of Michael Chandler. So I don't want to see that from Michael Chandler because I think Michael Chandler is an overall a good dude. But again, I got to be honest, man. Charles Oliveira, I think is going to have more than enough tools to get the job done. But I don't count Michael Chandler out. It's not that he can't win. I feel like his chances of winning are smaller than they are for Charles Oliveira. What do you think about that, my man?
Oh, listen, man. After Max Holloway lost against Ilia Topuria, I think the hunger and drive argument is definitely one of those ones where it's like it's more speculative than anything. I think it's more of the want of us wanting to see more fights out of some of these fan favorite fighters. But I think it's the unfortunate him waiting for 2 years for the Conor McGregor fight and it never materialized. And combination with that, Charles Oliveira has still been fighting in the years that Michael Chandler has been kind of inactive, as you will. I think it's just been one of those unfortunate things where Chandler just in those 2 years he's gotten a little cold. So I think because of that, Charles Oliveira again, he's been, you know, making a comeback tear as of recently. I think it's going to be not impossible, but I think it's going to be pretty damn hard for Michael Chandler to come out of this one with a victory. I think for Charles Oliveira, it definitely is going to be more of a, not a short win, but I do think it is going to be I think he's gonna step over Chandler a little bit, and I think it's not gonna make it. It's not gonna be an easy fight, but it's gonna be easier, I shall say, given the fact that again, Michael Chandler has been out of action for about 2 years. I'm gonna suspect, and we're gonna see. I'm going to say a submission in the second round for Charles Oliveira. It's sad, but honestly, after that's a Max Holloway loss, I'm not really counting a loss, or I'm not really counting a win for Michael Chandler, unfortunately. Part of me just kind of been disillusioned after that Ilia Topuria fight.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. Obviously, Max Holloway wanted to win his fight. There was a lot of hunger there, but it didn't happen. I think the big difference here is that Michael Chandler's just as headstrong as Max Holloway. So yeah, maybe it will be his undoing. Who knows? Listen, again, I've made my pick. I think Charles Oliveira has more tools in the belt, more things that he can get to, more things that he can reach for to be able to get the job done. So that's the way that I see it going. And unfortunately, for Michael Chandler, I feel like this is going to be the beginning of a not so good path. Given again, he's been essentially waiting for Conor McGregor for the last 2 years. I feel like it's just going to hurt his career all around, and a loss is going to hurt it even further. With that being said, let's move on to the main event. Listen, Stipe Miocic versus Jon Jones. This is going to sound bad. The fight that nobody asked for. Listen, I have a lot of respect for Stipe Miocic. He defended his title more than any other heavyweight champion in UFC history. There was not one man that I feel like Stipe ever ducked. I feel like he fought all the top contenders, the DCs more than once, the Francis Ngannou, so on and so forth. This man faced everybody. That being said, listen, Old Man Stipe is Old Man Stipe for a reason. Everybody's come up with that name for a reason, and I think that in a younger stage of his life, Stipe definitely stood a chance up against Jon Jones. But not in this current version. I actually saw a couple videos with Stipe not that long ago where you're just kind of bullshitting around with a couple dudes. And I still think mentally he's got a lot of his faculties there. I just don't think the body is going to respond as you would want it to respond against someone who's top tier like Jon Jones, man. Jon Jones just has too many good, tools in the belt. He's got too many areas where he can just exploit Stipe Miocic. Don't get me wrong, Stipe Miocic ain't no slag, but again, just this is the old version of Stipe, so I don't feel like he's going to react as quickly as he used to. He's not going to take the punches as well as he used to. He's not going to take the body work as good as he used to. So unfortunately for him, I do think this is going to be a Jon Jones victory. Now, obviously, a big question is Jon Jones going to stick around after he beats Stipe to be able to, fight the Tom Aspinalls of the world and potentially, start up there. Jon Jones has already made it clear, look, man, I'm not going to fight Tom Aspinall. If I was going to fight anybody, I'd fight Alex Pereira, and that's interesting there. That being said, I'll be honest with you, I don't want to see that fight too much, only because listen, man, Alex is unproven on the ground, and I feel like Jon Jones would just exploit the crap out of that. Jon Jones is a beast on the ground, and because of that, I feel like he would be able to beat an Alex Pereira decisively. And here's the thing, for Alex Pereira's career, I don't want that because he's on an upward trajectory. To halt such a train based on this, like, don't get me wrong, I know Alex Pereira is potentially fighting Ankalaev. I'd rather see that fight than a Jon Jones and Alex Pereira fight. Don't get me wrong, I would like to see Alex Pereira go up to heavyweight at some point, but not right now. That being said, getting back on track, Jon Jones, I feel like is just gonna outdo a Stipe Miocic. And shout out to Stipe Miocic for still fighting many years later. I feel like the last fight that he had was against Ngannou 3 years ago, I want to say it was. And then the fight before that, in 2020, was his last win. So the last win that this man got, Stipe Miocic, was over 4 years ago, something like that. So I don't think it bodes well for him. I don't think it's a great look. And listen, I get it. I understand why. If Stipe Miocic was to pull off a coup here, he would definitely go down as the greatest heavyweight UFC champion of all time. I just don't think it's likely. There's too many things going right for Jon Jones. And let's be honest, who do you think Dana White wants to win? Who do you think the UFC would be pulling to win? Jon Jones. There's too many things going in Jon Jones' favor for him not to pull off this win. I'm just hoping to see maybe he sticks around afterwards. I doubt it. Highly doubt it, but maybe he sticks around. So we'll see. I don't think there's too many questions that too many of us are asking. Again, I've seen a couple of videos where people are basically saying, why are we even, having this fight? And I'm talking about some videos from like MMA On Point and the like, bigger MMA channels basically saying the same thing. And why are we being serious with this fight? Like, we all kind of know what's going to happen. So I'm picking John Jones. To be honest with you, I don't even know what round. I could see it happen in any round: first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round. I could see it happening in any of the rounds, if I'm being honest with you. If anything, this is going to sound so fucked up. If anything, I feel like John Jones might carry Stipe a little bit to make it look competitive. But listen, I would be through the roof if Stipe won. Not because I have anything against John Jones, but Stipe is a good guy, man. He's a family man. He's a hard worker, firefighter, all that stuff. So you want to see someone like that retire on the up, not the down. But it is what it is, man. I'm picking John Jones. Don't know what round, and I could see it either via submission or knockout, somewhere in there. What do you think about that, my man?
Again, it seems like this is a kind of disappointing reality that most was foreseeing, but I think this fight is just kind of a formality. We're all just kind of getting over, because I don't see any real hype behind this fight. More so people making memes, making fun of the actual fight itself. I think remember somebody made a fake ESPN looking promo where it was promoting both of the fighters, but it was putting stats like, oh, hasn't fought in like 2 years, and oh, okay, lowest, like it was obviously like nonsensical stats of them making fun of the actual fight itself. But yeah, everybody, it feels like everybody kind of has this opinion that it's kind of a formality of the fight. Like it's a foregone conclusion. We like everybody's opinion of Stipe and everybody's opinion of John Jones as of right now, and the fact that he's basically running a train with this the heavyweight title. Again, everybody is just kind of more so waiting to see the aftermath of the fight more so than the fight itself. And I don't mean the aftermath like the results or anything like that, but the big question of, is John Jones gonna fight Tom Aspinall? And he's basically already said it in a conference beforehand. Like, the answer is, yeah, it's not gonna be no. I don't think there's gonna be any special rug pulling, no shock surprises, no shock announcements. It's gonna be a big nothing that's gonna happen at the end of the night. I do, however, think, as far as the aftermath, I think with John Jones saying that he would prefer to fight Alex Pereira more so than Tom Aspinall, I still think, okay, the next question is John Jones going to fight Alex Pereira, which I still think is no. I think it was a non-answer. It said he would prefer to fight Alex Pereira, but it's not to say that he would fight Alex Pereira. I think it was a perfectly political answer for John Jones to give to the fans as to a reason why he wouldn't fight Tom Aspinall in a way that didn't make him seem like he was ducking a fight. Like, okay, I would think we would get much more of a marquee fight out of Alex Pereira than we would of Tom Aspinall, which I actually I would agree with him on that if he actually said that. But even if that were the case, if that was the case that he wanted to make, if it was a bigger marquee fight in Alex Pereira matchup, I still think even if that was the case, I don't think the fight would have happened. I think he might have said that, and again, this is speculation on my end. I think he said that, again, as a way to avoid the ducking allegations with the Tom Aspinall thing, and him saying, I would prefer to fight a much more fan favorite fighter than, a Tom Aspinall would. But I don't think, even if that were the case, I don't think the fight would happen, even if that was even on the table. So I think, what do I think is going to happen afterwards? I think John is going to get on his bike after he wins against Stipe Miocic. I'm going to say KO in the 4th round. I'm pretty confident that's going to happen. And after that, I think John Jones is going to ride into the sunset and officially retire as a heavyweight champion.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I think John Jones is going to play it a little bit. I don't think maybe he does retire right away, just says, hey, I'm out, I'm done, thank you, and rides off. I think he's going to play it political a little bit. Khabib did it for a little bit where he technically held on to the title for a little bit after he said he was retiring. He wasn't officially stripped, so to speak, of the title. So I think a little bit of that's going to go on because it's just John Jones fashion. But who knows? We'll see. I highly doubt he's going to keep fighting on. I mean, if we're being honest, there's no real reason to. I don't see a fire under John Jones like I used to see under him. I think more he feels he's established himself as the GOAT. I feel like he feels he's established himself as the best in the light heavyweight and the heavyweight after this fight. So yeah, I definitely see a big retirement coming. Listen, man, it's gonna be an interesting card no matter what. I'm here for it either way. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be mad if Michael Chandler won. I wouldn't be mad if Stipe won. But we give it to you like we give it to you because we believe that Charles Oliveira is going to win, and we believe John Jones is going to win. It'll be interesting. Tune in. It's going to be a great fight either way. Hopefully, everybody makes it to the fight. That way, it does move forward because both fights, I think, are actually really good fights. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.